In the frozen forests of Canada, where the wind cuts through the trees like knives, legends whisper of a creature that never stops hungering. Hunters speak of nights where the forest falls silent. No birds, no animals, only the sound of their own breath. In that silence, they say, something watches. It is tall, skeletal, its body stretched thin, as if starvation itself had taken form. Eyes glowing like dying embers. A heart made of ice. And the air grows colder wherever it walks. For centuries, the Algonquian people warned of it. A spirit of famine, of greed, of cannibalism. They call it the Wendigo. But is this only a story told around campfires? Or could something darker still be stalking the wilderness tonight? Would you dare to look into the trees, knowing something might already be looking back at you? Tonight, we explore the origins, the history, and the chilling truth behind one of North America's darkest legends. The Wendigo belongs to the stories of the Algonquian-speaking tribes. A spirit born not just of famine, but of greed and cannibalism. In the harshest winters, when the cold bit into the bones, when the snow buried the earth in silence, those who gave in to hunger and consumed human flesh were said to be cursed. The curse was not quick. It twisted the body slowly. Skin stretched tightly over bones. Lips torn away. Eyes burning with endless hunger. The smell of rot followed it. Its voice was a hollow echo of the person it once was. To the Algonquian people, the Wendigo was more than a monster. It was a warning. It told every hunter, every family huddled by fire, that survival at the cost of humanity was worse than death itself. The Wendigo represented greed without end, a hunger that could never be satisfied. Even after devouring flesh, it only grew thinner, taller, hungrier. It was the embodiment of famine itself. So the people told their children, "Stay close to the fire. Do not stray into the dark woods, because once the Wendigo chooses you, you will never escape its hunger." In 1878, the legend of the Wendigo broke into horrifying reality. Swift Runner, a Cree man, returned from a brutal winter alone. His wife, his children, all gone. When questioned, he confessed he had killed them, and worse, he had eaten their flesh. But food was not far. Only 25 miles away stood a trading post stocked with supplies. Why had he done it? Swift Runner claimed he was possessed, consumed by the spirit of the Wendigo. The authorities hanged him, but his story echoed across Canada. For many, it was proof that the Wendigo was real, and Swift Runner was not the only case. Missionaries recorded dozens of reports. Men and women who swore they saw the Wendigo stalking them in the woods. Communities who whispered that neighbors were cursed. Settlers told stories of hunters who disappeared in the snow, only to return with eyes wild and hollow, claiming the Wendigo had entered them. For the people of the time, the Wendigo was not just folklore. It was a predator, a shadow that stalked the tree line, a hunger that could infect anyone desperate enough to survive.
By the 20th century, doctors gave this terror a name: Wendigo psychosis. It described men and women who believed they were transforming into the very creature of legend. They felt an endless hunger, an urge to consume human flesh, even when food was all around them. Psychiatrists debated the illness. Some called it mass hysteria, born from fear and folklore. Others saw it as a cultural sickness, a psychological curse passed down through stories. But for those who suffered, the terror was no less real. Patients screamed that their bodies were shrinking, twisting, that their minds were being taken over. Doctors wrote of men who begged to be restrained because they feared they would harm their families. Some whispered in padded rooms. I can feel it growing inside me. The Wendigo had become more than a legend. It was a reflection of human madness, a shadow of our deepest fear, that hunger and greed could strip away what makes us human. Even today, stories of the Wendigo continue. Hunters in Ontario speak of tall, thin figures watching from the trees. Campers wake to find footprints in the snow. Footprints that lead nowhere. On forums, hikers share the same story. Eyes in the darkness. A presence following silently, step for step. Some dismiss these as tricks of the mind, the brain seeing monsters in the shadows. But others insist. The Wendigo still walks among the trees. So is it only myth? A story from long ago? Or something far older, still haunting the frozen wilderness of Canada? One truth remains. When the snow falls, full the woods grow silent. The Wendigo still hungers. And if you feel eyes upon you in the frozen dark, perhaps it has already found you.